What to do, what to do. This is the Brothers on Books podcast, where we find great books that will give you real value and actionable steps and have fun in the process. Please reach out to us at brothersonbooks@gmail.com for any book recommendations, or if you would like to be a guest host for a particular book you have in mind. A great review or rating on whichever platform you're listening to would be greatly appreciated. Lastly, if you can think of any friend, family member, or coworker that might like this episode, please pass it along. I'm Alex Alwine, and with me as always is my brother Jack Alwine. Jack, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Al. Got my matcha, got my book selected. I'm ready to go.
Speaking of matcha, remember, on a dark and stormy night, you want a drink to warm the depths of your hearts. We at the Brothers on Books go with Ensha Matcha, the best matcha for the best brothers. Now our listeners will get 10% off when they use the link that can be found in the show notes. So Jack, how's the matcha?
It's great. It
Uh,
is
how
great.
how was the book selection process for you?
I had a lot of fun. I went to Barnes and Noble last night. Kept it simple for the users. They can go to just one part of the bookstore and get all these books that I'm about to select.
Yes, I guess it's good to mention that we decided to do things a little differently. Both you and I independently selected I guess a genre of three books between, and we each chose books within that genre. So I guess to start with, Jack, why don't you tell people I guess what genre of books you chose?
So I was thinking about doing biographies because I feel like my last books have been about certain ideas or topics and not so much about people. But I reverted and I've gone once again with more topics. And my theme is current affairs. So
Okay.
I got these all in the current affairs section of Barnes and Noble last night. So all within a 5 foot like wingspan, I picked all these books. I picked like 12 books, took them back to the table and then sifted through and I got down to my selected three. So what was your theme?
Okay. So sort of a similar thing. I feel like I've been I guess with all the wars going on, I've been talking probably more about morality than I have ever at any other point in my life. And, I don't really understand how maybe I didn't, I ended up picking philosophy just to talk about this. I felt like I had never really read a true philosophy book, so I decided to go with philosophy.
Okay, so our heads are gonna hurt.
To be fair, I made sure that they were all relatively short books. So,
Okay. Okay, cool. That might offset some because these my books are a little bit longer actually than I normally pick, but I think the topics are captivating enough that they will be good reads. So,
okay.
okay, well,
So I guess
why
I don't
why,
know
why
if
don't
you.
we fill in the ones we know already? Because we do have some returning guests on this season of the Brothers on Books podcast.
Yeah, so we have actually three returning guests for this season. This will be season 10, the big
Wow,
1-0.
cool.
That's an impressive feat for us.
Hmm.
I guess I should have these episodes listed. So this will be episode 111. So our 1013 episode will be this what we're recording now, the book draft. For October 27th, we are doing the book White Poverty. That is by Reverend William Barber. I guess we should put a guest. And that is with the goat of a guest, Godmother Sharon.
Sharon Applebaum. Okay.
Uh, and then on November 10th, we are doing From the Void, the Epimyth Volume 1. And this is with returning guest Jared McCloud. So we did his book Bright Star, Bright Star with him. And we'll be redoing this next book in his I guess his world of books. Uh, and then Jared is coming on for this. And then finally for this season, our guest, we're doing The Purpose Code. And that is with Dr. G or Jordan Grummett.
And he's
Okay, so
returning after writing Taking Stock, a book
yeah,
we talk a lot about.
episode 59. So Jack, why don't you start us off with the 114th episode that will be releasing on November 24th.
Okay, so after reading The Road to Freedom by Mr. Stiglitz, I did start getting a little antsy about our pharmaceutical industry. And Al, I don't know if you're going to be upset with this book, but this book is called Follow the Science by Cheryl Atkinson, and it's How Big Pharma Misleads, Obscures, and Prevails.
What's the author's name?
Sharyl. Cheryl.
Sharyl.
YL.
Mm-hmm.
And then Attkisson.
Okay, how many pages is it? Yeah, it's not super important.
Let's go with 298.
Okay. So for my first pick, I did Beyond Good and Evil by Frederick Nietzsche.
Oh, Nietzsche.
Yeah, this was, I think, 170.
He's very big in the Austrian world.
I'm sure he is. Yeah.
Okay. My next book is, you may have seen him interviewed on like Piers Morgan and really a lot of news outlets. He's the son of one of the former Hamas starters, Mossab Hassan Youssef, from Hamas to America.
I listened to him debate yesterday.
And it's by, so
Mossab, MOSAB.
Yep.
I don't know his name.
You can just put Youssef, like U and then SEF. Sorry, OUSEF. And by James Beckett, but it's fine. And this is like 275.
I don't think anyone's reading it because of James Beckett.
Sheesh, lack of respect.
I got no respect for Beckett. Okay, so for my next book, I did another sort of older philosopher. It's called The Problems of Philosophy by Bertrand Russell.
Oh, okay.
And this was, I think, also about I for some reason don't have the pages written down, but I remember this being around 200 pages.
Okay. My last pick is by, well, the book is called Who Rules the World and is by Noam Chomsky.
Oh, God.
I've never read a Chomsky book, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, you can put like 270.
I actually did a Chomsky book on this. I did Failed State. I don't remember what episode it was, but he was talking about how, it came out in like 2003. He was talking about how like Israel and United States were like just such abject failures, and
Okay.
he was giving evidence that Venezuela was like the world's greatest country.
Okay.
He's talking about how great Venezuela and Cuba were in 2003. Obviously, that's all ridiculous, but it's just my own opinion. So for my last book, I used to have I used to listen. I would listen to a lot of these philosophy speeches online, but I never would really read philosophy books. And this guy, I used to listen to talk a lot, and he has a very soothing voice, or at least from the videos, the voice that is reading all these talks is very soothing. But I never really understood what was being said. So the book I chose is called The Wisdom of Insecurity
Okay.
by Alan Watts. I think this was like 220.
Okay.
I was gonna pick a book on Ayn Rand's philosophy, but I felt like that would be too I thought about picking a book on Ayn Rand's philosophy and then having Sharon on to come just argue with me, but I thought that would
Yeah.
maybe get too heated. Uh, so yeah, so I guess this is our season 10.
Cool. So we finish it off on Dad's birthday on the 16th of February,
Oh yeah.
and then
We'll
March
probably
will be the next book draft.
yeah, we'll probably be I would assume we'll be in Michigan for that.
Hmm.
Because Dad is turning 70.
This is a pretty good list for the listeners. You can go out and buy these and read along with us. I like your picks, Al. I've listened to Nietzsche a lot, or at least some of his thought experiments, and I like some of them. He did a lot of thinking. I know he was very ill throughout a lot of his life. And then I've heard of Bertrand Russell a lot. So, the Alan Watts one I haven't heard of, but should be cool. So,
The Saab. I feel like he comes on Piers Morgan a lot, and I
mhm.
sometimes feel like I feel like he doesn't have the greatest grasp of the English language, and it kind of hurts him a little bit.
Mm,
Because to me, it seems like he could make the points a lot more. It's always like very, very emotive, kind of when he debates,
no.
which I guess is fine.
So, well, okay. Well, any last thoughts before I sign off?
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, should be a good one. Okay, so with that said, please reach out to us at brothersonbooks@gmail.com for any book recommendations, or if you'd like to be a guest host for a particular book you have in mind. A great review or rating on whichever platform you're listening to this would be greatly appreciated. And lastly, if you can think of any friend, family member, or coworker that might like this episode, please pass it along. I am Jack Allweil, and with me, as always, is my brother Alex Allweil. We have another great season ahead, and we hope you will join us. Al, take care.
Jackson.